All right, we're going to go a little bit Diggs versus McLaurin here. So I've been basically arguing and fighting with internet trolls for the last, 2 or 3 weeks about if Trevon Diggs is a shutdown corner or if he's just a product of good defense and then luck. Everyone's calling it luck, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I thought instead of just talking out my ass, I should actually look at some film. But let's just run and see what happens. So it's actually, as you watch this, it's actually not terrible. It's not a terrible play by Taylor Heinicke. He actually reads the coverage right. McLaurin's actually one-on-one with Diggs. To get one-on-one with Diggs, it doesn't happen often. They usually have a safety over the top, but you can see the safety sitting here. He's actually playing the deep middle. So Terry actually is wide open. Well, I wouldn't say wide open, but he is one-on-one, which is a 50% chance. But if you play through, you watch right here, what Taylor Heinicke's seeing here, he probably shouldn't have thrown this ball just because Diggs' positioning is so good, and it just gets worse for him after he releases the ball. So you can see he throws it. Diggs basically opens his hips up and turns himself into the wide receiver. Is now basically in his brain, he is winning this ball, and he has the position on the ball. So we'll play through, and that's an easy pick, and Diggs does that better than anyone. And the funny thing is after this clip, he actually got all fired up because of it. Saying J-Ron Curse is saying, you guys weren't even going to lull him to sleep. You're going to go to him the first play. And they may have learned their lesson. On the second play here, you have Terry down on the bottom of the screen, and Diggs is giving him some respect. That's a solid 8-yard cushion. Heinicke snaps the ball, doesn't even look over, looks up, and skips the ball into the ground. This next play, so this is one of the areas that I think Diggs could work on, and I'm not going to bitch or moan too much about it because at the end of the day, I want him to be taking the ball away, but at times it seems like he is a bit scared to get in and do some dirty work. So they motion the wide out up to the outside, and then they basically do a toss play. And as they're coming down, you can see Diggs is way up here because he was giving that cushion, but he doesn't ever try to advance to make this tackle. Watch, he just gets kind of, it almost looks like, I'm not going to say scared. He's an NFL player. I'm never going to say he's scared. But if you watch him here, he doesn't want really none of it. So he just kind of stays to the outside. And I was only going to look at plays that he went man-on-man against Terry McLaurin, but I just couldn't avoid talking about this because you got to talk about the bad with the good. And this has been some of the critique he gets that he doesn't. I mean, here he could shoot up the field right here. He could easily shoot up the field here. There's a gap to get up there. He's fast enough to take this blocker on, but it doesn't seem like he really wants none. The more concerning thing is our middle linebacker. Watch our middle linebacker here. LVE is, oh man. So LVE, and I'll do another vid on this, but why are you way the hell down there? Let's go back and just everyone watch LVE. So this was just a terrible run defense play from the get-go. But you got LVE, doesn't attack the ball at all, tries to run, but he ends up running vertical. He's 20 yards downfield from when their play started, and that's concerning to me. But that's a whole nother video. That's probably my only gripe with Diggs at the moment is he doesn't seem too keen on sticking his nose in there. So here, this is great coverage here. So this is, you take the good with the bad, like we said. So Diggs, once again, they're lined up. He's giving him a solid, 6-yard, 7-yard cushion. It's man coverage, and these are usually plays that Diggs gets burned on, and a lot of the yards, the 1,000 yards he's had against him that everybody likes to talk about, this is where some of them come from. So you'll watch this, but right here, he reads it, he sees that Terry's going wide. Heinicke can't really throw it to him here. He's surrounded by 3 players, and then Diggs' closing speed, he just reads and reacts, and that's a great play. Diggs down at the bottom of your screen, and that actually looked like he got beat. But once again, Heinicke isn't looking. If Heinicke's looking to the left here, but maybe Diggs is looking in the backfield and realizes that Heinicke is not looking his way. But if Heinicke is looking over to his left, I think Terry beats him off that break. Let's take a look at this again. Right down here. You got press coverage, runs up, boom, and he's got separation there. So once again, we got the matchup of Diggs and Terry on the bottom. Oh, sorry, no, this wasn't Terry. This is where, yeah. So this was, I wasn't going to run any time that I wasn't going to show him against anyone else but Terry. But once again, I gotta show the bad with the good. And this is a great catch in double coverage, great throw. And like I said, Diggs will give up yards, but as long as he keeps getting those interceptions and having those highlight plays, I'm okay with this. That's just a good ball. That's just a good throw. You can't get away from that. So now in the red zone, let's see what he does in the red zone. You got them at the top of the screen, once again giving a pretty good cushion. Heineke has, they're going play action. Heineke's not even looking at him. Obviously, he's doing a post route. You're just not going to get the ball there. So that's good coverage by our safety and by Trevon Diggs. There, he's bracketed there. He has nowhere to go with that. Next. Same here. Okay, so this is a play that it looks like Terry actually gets loose. I don't think they're playing man coverage. It looks like they're playing some sort of zone. The thing I love is our defensive line just basically kills us from the start. D-Law is not letting him get out anywhere, and he just basically silences his play. You got Terry running cross field, Diggs in contain, and then our safety over the top. And as you can see, D-Law shuts this down. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere, Taylor. And you're done. You got Diggs and Terry on the bottom of the screen here. It looks like he's going. And here, this is one of those plays again. Just an in route. And it honestly, I don't know why. I don't know if Heineke is just scared to look, but it honestly looks like Diggs might be beat here. Luckily, Heineke's not even looking his way. Like right here, open. Oh, but as we said before, our D-line, our front seven. So this wasn't going to be a defensive line video, but watch these guys are beast. Heineke feels the pressure. That's a coverage sack, but more importantly, that's just the front line getting it done. Up to the top here, you have Diggs covering once again about 8 or 9 yards. He's going deep, and that's just, you ain't throwing that. Just check it down, move to the next play. That is great coverage. Next play. So this is the one play that could have changed the stat line for both of these guys. So this is actually the second time in the game that they ran this formation. They did trips with Terry in the middle, and Diggs is actually playing up tight. And I don't know if Diggs kind of slips or if he thought they were going to try to run a pick or what they were doing, but Diggs loses the matchup in the first 2 seconds of the play. If you watch off the line, Terry literally burns them. And this play, if it's caught by Terry, his stat line's completely different than what it ended up being, and possibly it's even almost a touchdown. So let's run it through. So he literally burns him, and he's got a full body on him. Terrible throw, short throw, and skipped out. So Diggs got saved a little bit there because he got burned right off the line. He's in pursuit, and then their legs trip up and the ball falls shy. So that could have been a big play for Washington, and it definitely could have changed Terry's stat line, because usually Terry catches that and he's gone. Then there, boom, he's over 100 yards and a touchdown, and you hear everybody talking. But that's the way football goes. It's a game of inches, and unfortunately for Washington, they lost that one. Watch the pressure on the defensive line. I know this is a Diggs video, but we got to show we got to give respect where respect is due. And these guys are just playing like monsters. And like I said, if they're not getting that pressure, this is a big gain. This is a first down, if not more. So watch. Heineke drops back. Look at that. On him, nowhere to go. Bring it back one more time, and I'm watching Diggs, but watch this. Boom, he's wide open there. He's wide open. But our defensive line just got there and shut that down before it could even be an issue. Again, look at the D-line. Just swarming. Just swarming. That jacks me up. That D-line jacks me up. For the rest of the game, there isn't any really big plays to Terry or to Diggs, but let's bash Leighton Vander Esch a little bit more. So, and I hate to do this because he used to be one of my favorite players, but he's having a weird season. He has not looked good, and let's run this play. Vander Esch drops back to deep middle, comes out. He's like, oh yeah, it's go time, big hit, and LVE, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, buddy? Back to Diggs and Terry, the battle of. And, this is where Diggs makes his money. Watch him read this. And this is sometimes why he gets beat with double moves. This is sometimes why Diggs gets beat by double moves. Because look at this. As soon he jumps up there. He was wanting to jump up there. But Taylor Heinicke, once again, just has nowhere to go. Diggs jumps it right there. And then you look back down here, and he's being just swarmed. Terry runs a corner route up the field, and just nothing. Diggs. And you don't really notice this until you watch his back, but look at this down here. See ya, Heinicke. That's a kill shot. All in all, this game, it could have been a lot closer for Terry's numbers could have been better. But our defensive line just, see, there it is. That's the play that I'm surprised they didn't run more. Terry just coming in and just getting that, easy 12-yard gain. They didn't use that play very often, and those are open. Those were open the whole game. The rest of the game, not much happens. Our defense shuts them down. They just can't get anything moving, and we're just swarming everyone. So as you can see here, Terry's stat line was 3 catches, 40 yards for a 13.3 average and 0 touchdowns. And then on the Diggs side, Diggs had 2 tackles and 1 interception. Diggs is playing good. I still think through the tape, he had a pretty good game. Does it make me nervous if we have to play someone like Devontae Adams? Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to make anybody nervous. Does it make me nervous against Kyler Murray? Not so much, knowing that he doesn't have Hopkins. At the time of this recording, I'm still sold that Diggs is a top 10 corner. These takeaways are just so important, and after having 11 of them, I don't care what anyone says, it's not luck. The guy puts himself in position, he turns into a wide receiver, and he secures that ball.
They bring the noise. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.